Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back here again. It's your boy Rakeem with Unpacked, and today I have another special guest in the building. This guest here, man, he's gonna share a lot of inside story about his background, upbringing, just his life as a teenager, some of the things that he's actually changed about his life. We're gonna go into his relationship with his family, how he's found his dad in a flat unalived, how he started binge drinking from a very young age and actually, started turning his life around. And we're gonna get into a lot of more things in regards to his relationship, his toxic relationship, and how things are with him right now as we speak. But guys, I'm not gonna waste any more time. I wanna give it up for my broski, Dolski.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Let's clap it on. What's
going on? How you doing?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Yeah?
Listen,
Good.
Did I say your name right?
You said it wrong, innit? He said that. But you know what? Do you know what's funny?
You know how I've got you saved?
Yeah?
I've got you saved as Dolce.
Dolce.
Yeah.
I like that though.
Yeah,
Dolce's good though as well.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
actually Kozgi.
Yeah. You know what? Let me actually look at it. Because the first time, actually, hold up. Look at my phone.
Yeah, let me see.
What does that say at the top?
Man's got, Kozgi, that's right though.
Do you know what it is? I've had you saved as Dolce before, and I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
But it's only 2 days ago where I changed it. So I'm thinking I'm still used to
Dolce. You know what it is?
You know what I mean? It sounds cold.
It sounds cold. You know what it is? It's so crazy because a lot of people say to me, they'll be like, "Hey, what's your name? Like, is it Kozgi? Is it like?" And people call me I can't remember who it was. They used to call me Kasagi.
Okay.
I like that though as well. Listen,
Kasagi's cool.
but everyone obviously how you say it is Kozgi, innit?
Yeah.
But I'm chill. However you want to say it, you can say it. You know, Dolce's good as well. We like Dolce.
Dolce's
I
hard.
like that. Dolce's good.
Hard.
Dolce's good.
But you know, it's mad how I still I've actually got you saved as Kozgi.
You got it right as well.
That's crazy.
I heard that I was gonna correct you, and I was like, you know what? Let me not ruin it. Yeah. Because the intro sounded so lit. I was like, the intro sounded good. Yeah. You gassed me up, and then you got the name wrong. I'm like, hey.
Oh man.
But
that was like a knockout punch. My bad, cuz. My bad. But yeah, man, we're gonna get straight into it, man. But first of all, how are you today?
I'm good.
Everything
brother.
good?
I'm good. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. I've got a lot of energy. I'm excited. Yeah, man. Always.
I couldn't wait to actually get you on this pod.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you, first of all, for coming on here as such a late notice.
Yeah.
I have to actually rate you because, having a conversation. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yeah, and we said, you know what, let's jump on a call in the evening and let's lock it in.
That's what I mean. Because I was like, you know what, let's just get in. Because I'm a firm believer in I want to get things done. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get things done. I'm excited for it as well. Because I didn't want to wait and then not do it today. And then next week we couldn't do it. And then it's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's what always happens, you know?
100%.
So
100%.
yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Happy as today.
Thank you so much for coming, my bro. I really appreciate you, man. Listen, we're going to get into it. Before we get to the nitty gritty stuff, we'll just get a little insight for the viewers about your upbringing and what that was like. Talk to me.
Cool. So I was born in Bromley, so southeast London, and when I was young I moved out of Bromley. I moved to a place called Uckfield, in East Sussex. So it's basically in between Brighton and London, so not far from Gatwick. I was brought up there, and I was telling you yesterday as well, I was brought up in a predominantly white area. So obviously that's why I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey, this guy sounds this and that, you know what I'm saying? So I was brought up in a predominantly white area around a lot of different types of people. A lot of my friends from that area are kind of like geezery guys, you know? And obviously I've got 2 older sisters. They were my older sister was raised nearby me as well. The other one was as well. But they moved down from London, or one of my sisters moved from London, when she was a bit older than me. So she wasn't accustomed to coming down to somewhere in a mainly white area. And I remember I was talking about this. I talk about this a lot because I remember when I was young, I was like, wow, I looked around and obviously my mum's white, my dad's black. And I was always like, am I adopted? What's going on? Why am I getting like this? You know what I'm saying? And it sounds stupid when I'm older. But when I was young, I genuinely asked my mum and dad, I was like, am I adopted? Because I didn't know why I was this colour, because I was around so many white boys. You know what I'm saying? So man, but that's the basis of it. And man, we're here now. I'm back in London now. But
okay, nice, man, nice. You were talking to me about in terms of just you said your sister lived up the road from you. So was and that was your half sister. Your older sister is your half sister. Is that correct?
So I got 2 older sisters. They both went to Brit School, funnily enough. My older sister, she's an actress, and She actually lived in a place called Forest Row, up the road from where my mum was living and where I grew up.
Right.
And I know I was speaking about this as well because I feel like this is an important fact. Because this is just to get an idea of what it was like in that area. So obviously my oldest sister, she's 43, yeah? So she's quite a bit older than me. But she was raised in Forest Row, and I don't want to say the word as well, but obviously when growing up, she was with her mum, who was white as well, and my dad, and she would get called an N-word lover, you know, like, and I remember I remember her telling me, because this always shocked me, this is back in the 90s, they threw like a petrol bomb through my sister's house. You know what I'm saying? Through my mum and dad, through her mum and dad's house, through my dad's house, obviously, of course. Through like a petrol bomb, and like it could have gone left, it could have gone bad, but in the end, obviously, nothing came of it. But it was a disrespect all the time down there, and that's so my sisters have a different interpretation of where I grew up than I do in some ways. Right. Because I was the kind of popular kid growing up. Like I was like, the black kid. Like it was only a few of us, you know. So it's like, oh yeah, he's cool. Like so. But I think for women, it was different, unfortunately. For being a black girl growing up in these areas, it's not the same. Right. You don't get the same kind of. I don't know, respect in some ways, you know? But yeah, man.
Okay. Now, man, sorry that, you know, your sister, like, actually, because it had to be terrifying, let alone a guy, a girl at that age, you know, going through those kind of stuff. And did she eventually did they end up moving out because of that, or was it?
No, they didn't move out because of that, but she went to Brit school young as well. So both of my sisters, they went to Brit school when they were, I think, obviously, my older sister went, I think, when she was 16, for college as well. Right. And my other sister went for college as well. They both, like, but I come from like a creative family kind of thing. So, they both went to Brit school. So when they were in London, things were different, you know? Right, and I think for both of them, especially my full sister who I was living at home with, she couldn't wait. She couldn't wait to go and leave the area and go to London. Because that's where she felt like was home, you know? South London. That's what she knew. So I could never relate to that because I was a baby when I moved down to East Sussex, you know, I was a kid. So I could never really relate to that and feel her pain on like why she didn't want to be in that area. Do you see what I mean?
I got you.
Man. Yeah.
No, I got you. You know, going forward a little bit, at the age of like 14, this is when your parents divorced.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about that, how that came about. I know we had a conversation about this yesterday, but
so you know what's crazy, because I put it all out there as well. I'm a firm believer. I don't like hiding things away, and like I like to talk about things, put them out in the open. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I was 14, I basically found my dad was messaging another woman, or messaging multiple women. You know, So he was obviously with my mum at the time. They weren't married, but they were together, you know, in a relationship. And he was married actually to my oldest sister's mum originally, but obviously they actually separated but never got a divorce. So he's with my mum then, and I found that he's messaging different women, you know.
Did you find this out?
I found it out.
How old was you at this point?
So I think I found this out when I was maybe 13 or 14.
Got you.
I found it out and told my mum. But not only that, which is what's crazy, is that it's the fact that I was like I had no idea. So basically, there's multiple times where like my sisters had basically found like a woman's shoe in his car. And what's crazy is about these situations is I only found out when I was doing bereavement counselling last year. So I was in therapy.
Right. I
only found out then when I called my mum. After my therapy session, I said to her about, I was talking about dad and what he'd done and how I went through a phase when I was 14 of not liking my dad.
Right.
You know, like 14 to 16, I didn't like my dad because I said, how can he do that to my mum?
Right.
I was like, I don't respect him for that. So it was kind of a thing like that where I didn't respect him because of what he'd done. But I had completely erased that memory. So my mum had told me, this was just a year ago, she said, but you were the one that found out he was talking to these other women.
And you didn't even like.
And I didn't even remember it, bro.
Yeah, you completely forgot. I got you.
It's like a thing where, you know, when people say about when you go through something that's upsetting when you're young, you just erase it from your memory. Like my girlfriend and I were talking about this. You just erase things from your memory. So until my mum told me a year ago, she was like, you're the one that told me your father was messaging other women, and you found emails of him talking to women. And I was like, what? I was like, it was me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had no idea. And then my sisters found a shoe in his car of another woman's shoe. So yeah, man, like so for a few years after that, from like 14 to 16, obviously I was smoking a lot and stuff like that, and drinking and stuff like that, because I was like, I kind of in a way lost respect for my father in that sense. Do you see where I'm coming from? And it took a few years for me to kind of when I got older, like we spoke about, I got older and I realized, wow, like relationships aren't always black and white.
Right.
Because when you're a child, you think relationships are black and white. You think, oh yeah, this is, this is, but at the same time, there's a lot more to it.
Right.
So it's not that I understood where he's coming from. It was more that I was like, okay, there's more to delve into.
Got you.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, and then did your mom actually told you at that point the exact words that you told her and how you came about finding these emails?
Yeah, so I told my mum, I've always been very open with my mum.
Got you.
She'll see this as well, I'm sure.
I've
always been.
Shout out to mum.
Shout out to mums. Yeah, I've always been extremely open with my mum about everything. Yeah, so I tell my mum everything as well. Like I would be like this and that when I first drank, when I first smoked and stuff. I would tell my mum straight away. Because I'm like, I don't want to hide things. I've always been like that. I don't like hiding things from people,
Yeah.
So my mum, I told her straight away. And my mum, like, this is why I respect my mum heavily. My mum's a G. And my mum's, when I talk about my mum being a feminist, I don't want people, I know the red pill people might come for me and be like, oh yeah, I'm talking about old school feminists. Like she doesn't, there's certain things now that are different that not everyone agrees with. Even I'm like, some of it's a bit crazy. But my mum's from the, like, she doesn't need a man in order to like to live her life. Do you see where I'm coming from? She's strong on her own. She didn't need my father, so she could say, "Listen, I've split up with your dad. We're done," and I respected that. And she never went back to him. It was never. Oh, I might go back to him. I might not. My mum just told me straight when I was 14. Listen, your father and I, we're finished. We're over, and that's that. And like I said yesterday, my dad stayed living in the house from 14 till I was 16. So he stayed living there. Yeah, so that was and when I told people that, they're always like, "Yo, what? Your dad still lives there? You still live there?" But for me, that was, my mum was like comfortable with that, and my dad was as well. They didn't sleep in the same room, obviously, but they coexisted together. Co-parented. Yeah, in the house. So it worked.
Yeah, because it is quite unusual to. I mean, it does happen. Don't get me wrong, where they still do live together, and but in those 2 years, do you remember that maybe your dad was still trying to make it work with your mom? Of course, you're living together, and which is normal, naturally. Like, you're living together. Of course, like, this is someone they've, like, how long have they been together before?
They were together, so 25 years.
Look at
they
that.
were together, yeah.
And then
long time, man.
Eventually, it's just like, bam.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Stopped,
yeah.
And they living together. So what was that like that scenario, like them living together? Did you notice, like, okay, maybe Pops is still trying his best to prove a point that,
what's interesting about that? It's so interesting you say that, Rakim, because my dad and my mum's relationship, it's not like how I live. My relationships that I've had in the past with my girlfriends and my girlfriend now, I'm very lovey-dovey. Yeah, so I'm like that. I'm very romantic. I like the lovey-dovey stuff. Whereas my mum and dad, that it wasn't like that in the house. There wasn't ever that the warmth between each other.
Even before.
Got you. So and that's not to say they didn't love each other, because I know my dad always said he wanted my mum back, but at the same time, there wasn't that spark. I never saw the spark. And my sisters and I talk about this as well. And that's nothing against their relationship, because that's their relationship. There's personal things. It might have been a lot different behind closed doors. But from what I saw growing up, and as a young man, I didn't see that level of affection, So my dad was he was the kind of person who would show his love with money. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So like he would like buy my mum these things and buy my sisters these things. Sorry, and he would show his appreciation through money.
Got you.
Which it doesn't always work, and I know a lot of dads do that, but it doesn't always work, because then you haven't got the other aspects there. He was just a workaholic. And he could have been there in other instances in a better way, for his family. Yeah. And we spoke about this before he passed as well. Okay. We spoke about this as well. Yeah. He said this as well. But yeah.
No, I got you, man. Thank you for sharing that, though, because it's quite sensitive, man. And
it is,
what I mean? Yeah. And what I wanted to get into was also like there was a moment where, so after those 2 years, eventually Pops moved out. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah.
Was this the moment when? Because I know that he was sentenced to prison for something that Could you tell me a bit more about that? And yeah.
So when my dad was my age,
Yeah.
so obviously when he was in his later 20s,
Yeah.
he started off going to university in Moscow, and he did politics and studied politics there. And then he went to, I don't know the reason, and the thing is, my dad was quite secretive about things, so I don't know the reason why he ended up in Zambia, because he's originally Zimbabwean.
Okay.
But he also used to he was always very shady about where he's really from. But even though we did our ancestry and we found out we're obviously mostly from Zimbabwe on that side, but Congolese, Zimbabwe, you know. But my dad was obviously he was from that area of Africa, you know.
Yeah.
So he ended up in Zambia.
Yeah.
And basically what he did was he didn't agree with what the government was saying. So he was basically gone against the government with a group of people from there. He'd gone against the government, and they landed in prison, in a Zambian prison. And bear in mind, my dad, when he passed away, my dad was 74 when he passed away. And when he had me, he was 53. You see where I'm coming from? So he was older. So he was an older father. So we're talking, he was in a Zambian prison in I think it was the 70s, yeah?
Yeah.
So it was mad. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just mad. Yeah. So it was mad in there what he went through.
African prisons, sorry to cut you off, African prisons right now is mad. Do you know what I mean?
Let alone
back then. But yeah, go on.
So yeah, man. So obviously he was in there for 33 months, yeah? For just over 2.5 years. And so when he was in there, he was getting death threats and everything. He was getting death threats from the guards, from people in there, because he'd come in there with a group of people who had stood up against the government, and they obviously were speaking in a different way. So they'd kind of call him like a white man and things like that. I think he was quite well spoken, these kind of things. They would call him a white man, threaten him, everything like that. And so he kind of built a relationship with this woman. I won't say her name, but she was a Danish nurse.
Yeah.
She's actually passed away now as well.
Okay.
Fairly recently. But he built a relationship with her when he was in prison, and she actually helped him get out of prison.
I remember you told me this.
So she helped him get out of prison, and he ended up going to Sweden.
And Can I just cut you off for 1 second?
Yeah.
So sorry, brother. When you say she helped him get out, and she was a nurse in prison, inside prison.
So she was a nurse in a hospital near the prison, I think.
Okay.
And he'd gone there. I think that's right. She was a hospital. She was basically helping out some of the local community, I think, something like that. And so she basically wasn't working in the prison, but she'd seen about my dad in the newspaper. Because I was going to bring the clippings as well, the newspaper clippings, because there's basically newspaper clippings of him in the papers, basically, with these other people who had been arrested on political charges, basically, you know, for like political activism.
Yeah.
And it was there was an uproar as well at the time, because they weren't actually sentenced.
Right.
So they were just sitting and rotting in this prison without any sentencing and without any upcoming court date, you know?
Okay.
So they didn't know if they would ever get out at all.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was like that. So she'd seen about this, I think, in the papers, and she'd reached out to the government and kind of got people together. And I don't think it was a petition at the time, but she'd basically written in about this as well. And her being a Danish white woman, I'll be real, I think it probably made a difference. Okay. And I think maybe other people that she knew from like Europe had probably said something about it. Right. And you know, that's the power of when people come from obviously other places and with more money, they're able to kind of influence certain things, I think, you know, we even see this in this day and age now. You see like Kim Kardashian obviously getting certain people out of prison. Not saying she was rich and things like that, but there's a certain level of people take people with, you know what I'm saying, white people more seriously, for example, which is sad, but it's the truth in this world. So he got out of prison, and like I was saying, he went to Sweden. And then from there, he came to London. Did
they come together when she helped him get out?
No. So she was living. Sorry about that. She was living in London. She was living in London or moved to London, and then he moved to Sweden, and then from there he moved to London.
Got you.
To see her and be with her. But my dad being my dad, a Gallis as you'd call it nowadays, a ladies' man, he kind of didn't end up because he didn't really kind of go and end up seeing her, which I don't agree with as well, which I think's sad, you know. But she helped him get out of prison, and at the time it suited him. But I think after that he didn't pursue her, basically, you know, when he was back in London. And so man, and then he ended up meeting my sister's mum from that situation. And funnily enough, which is interesting, I don't think I told you this before, but when my dad first came out of prison, when he first met my sister's mum, she would say how he was screaming at nighttime. You know,
Okay.
like in his nightmares, he'd have nightmares and he'd be screaming after he got out of prison.
Got you.
So he's obviously he was a young man. He was maybe 28, 29 when he got out. And yeah, so he'd held that trauma in. And like I was saying to you before, you know, when people hold that trauma,
it's tough. Yeah,
it's tough, you know. And I think it kind of was pushed on to, and obviously he hadn't seen his family as well. I didn't mention that. He didn't have contact with his family after he went to Moscow to study at university.
Okay.
So he didn't have any contact after that ever again.
Got you.
So he's never seen his family. I've never met my dad's side of his family ever, which also was difficult when he passed, which we'll talk about a bit more after. So there's certain things like, you know, he carried that trauma and carried those things, and I think he brought that into his life when he came to this country.
And when he met your you're saying when you met your
my sister's mum.
Sister's mum.
So yeah,
he was dealing with that trauma. Yeah. And what was that relationship like in terms of like dealing with that, and did that have an effect on their relationship?
Do you know what? No, you see, with my dad's a very, very, he was a very calm person. So see me, I'm not as calm as my dad.
Gotcha.
I'm very like a bit erratic, ADHD. Yeah. But my dad was a very stoic man.
Gotcha.
Like, so I get certain characteristics from him in terms of like, you know, you've seen my TikTok, how I believe in certain things and I will stand firm on my beliefs.
Especially because of your experience as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get that from him, that characteristic. But he's also a very stoic man. I mean, when he used to walk in the room, he like commanded a presence. Okay, he had a presence where he commanded the respect. Okay. And I remember my friends always used to say, when your dad comes in the room, like, people were a bit scared of my dad. He's a big guy, you know. And he was in like a powerful kind of person in terms of how he looked, you know, his stature. Gotcha. So he always had that about him, and he was a calm person, but he was also he's a romantic as well. I get that from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, certain traits from him.
Exactly. So So he's obviously a ladies' man, and he loves the ladies. So I think in terms of the relationship, like you asked the question then, with my sister's mum, they got married, I think, quite quickly. I'm pretty sure they got married very quickly. And then he was living with her. And funny enough, she's older than my dad. So obviously she's a bit older than my dad.
Gotcha.
So I think she kind of like he moved into her house. She'd broke up with her partner at the time. Okay. And then started seeing my dad.
Gotcha.
And then from then they got married. And then my older sister came along.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Nah, man, thank you for sharing that, man. That's okay, that's proper, man.
Yeah.
There was a moment with your dad. You've come home and you found before we get to that, actually, I'm trying to find the perfect way of actually asking this question. Yeah. When how long did their relationship last?
So I was just trying to think that as well, trying to remember that. So if my sister. So I think that my sister was 15
Gotcha.
She was 7 or 10 when my dad met my mum.
Okay.
And so there's a 7-year gap in between my sister, my older sister, and my middle sister.
Okay.
And then there's a 7-year gap between my sister and my older middle sister.
Gotcha.
You know? So they met, I think my dad was probably with her for 15 years.
Okay.
With my sister's mum.
Yeah.
And then he met my mum.
Okay.
I think that's about right, yeah. And then he met my mum, and then obviously from then, you know, and he, you know, the situation with him meeting my mum is he kind of, you know, was off philandering, like with my mum, and my mum didn't realise that he actually had a wife, you know.
Okay, so that's another thing.
Yeah,
so you already had it. Okay, cool.
But my mum didn't know that. My dad's obviously kind of like, you know, he's just swooping in and going from one lady to another, that kind of thing, you know. And I'm not sure if that's the thing where I don't want to put the words out there that was my father dealing with his trauma in that way. I can only say that because I used to deal with my trauma in that way.
Makes sense. I got you. Yeah. So makes sense. And in terms of how did Mumsy find out about him having a wife?
So she found out when.
Or is this the same story about the cheater?
No, my mum found out. I actually don't know this. I don't know how she found out, but I know that obviously she was introduced to my sister because my mum obviously like was still So she was introduced to my sister, as in my dad didn't lie. He didn't say I don't have a daughter. He told her he has a daughter, and that they were like kind of split up at the time. Her mum and him. And then basically I think I'm not sure about the ins and outs of that, how they met, but obviously from then my mum and him started seeing each other, and my mum would see like my older sister as well. As in like she was kind of like became her stepmom in a way as well. But her mum was still there, of course, but my mum became like stepmom. They still have a relationship now, even you know, even after my mum broke up with my dad. So my family's it's a strange one. They're still, you know, like my mum, like my sister's mum, my mum were both at my dad's funeral, for example.
Got you.
You know?
So they have a very good relationship.
I wouldn't say my mum and my sister's mum have a good relationship. And my sisters will see this as well. They'll be like, I wouldn't say my mum and my sister's
they get along type of thing.
I wouldn't even say they get along. No, but
okay.
they don't. You see, my mum's my mum's the loveliest person you will ever meet.
Got you.
And I know everyone says that, but I mean that. My mum's like an amazing woman where all she wants to do is help. She's a nurse, for the NHS. All she wants to do is help. So my mum doesn't get in confrontations, doesn't get in arguments, but you know, I'll leave it at that. But it's like,
I hear you. No, 100%. I hear you. So there was a moment where you came home, and you found your dad, unalived. Would you mind elaborating a little bit on that?
And there's certain aspects I didn't tell you about as well because yesterday. So this, because it comes into this as well, because I know a lot of people will be able to relate to this. So I was supposed to see my dad on Father's Day. In 2020, I was supposed to meet my dad and go over and see him at his place. And, you know, I was partying then. I was, you know, seeing a lot of different girls. I was drinking a lot. And I was like to my dad, the day came and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to give it a miss. And I think I came up with some excuse. I don't know what I said to him. I would have come up with some lie, basically. You know, like been like, oh yeah, I'm too tired. Cause I wouldn't want to tell him, oh, I've been drinking. I've been with this girl, so I can't come because, you know. So he said to me, I remember I spoke to him on the phone that day. It's interesting because I always say this is crucial. In like my dad passing away, I always feel like this correlates to it. Because the last time I spoke to my dad on the phone, I remember he was upset about me not seeing him on Father's Day, and he said to me, he was like, never break promises, especially not with the ones you love. And that always stuck with me because
that's powerful. It's man.
Powerful,
very powerful.
And I remember, like in the moment, even it felt powerful. And in the moment, so that's the last time I heard my dad's voice on the phone. Okay. So, but in the moment, I didn't know my dad was ill. I had no idea my dad was ill. You know, so I'm just thinking, like I get that. I respect that because I still take in what my dad says, and I lead with compassion and empathy. So I felt bad, but at the same time, I was like, you know, like you hear people say that a lot, and you're like, that's very true. Like that's deep, but it's true. It's facts. Like my dad, because my dad used to put me on game with these kind of things. I'm like, that's true, you know. And then it came to 2 weeks later, and I was supposed to go and see him, and so my sister and I, one of my sisters, my middle older sister, we went to drive there to go and see him, and you know, like a few days before, we were planning on seeing him. I text him. I say to him, "Oh, you're right, Dad. Yeah, we're coming over on Thursday. Yeah, is that still good? We're coming over Thursday," and he's like not replying, you know. Okay. But I'm just thinking, it's not that deep, you know. Like it's not like I don't know. He might just I don't know. He wasn't replying, you know. So we thought, okay. Got to the house that day on the Thursday.
The same day you texted him?
No, not the same day. Okay. Even so, I think the day before or 2 days before. Yeah. So it'd been a few days since he'd responded now. Right. So I'm like, but you know, we still go there.
Got you.
Because I know he's busy sometimes as well. He was retired then, but I still thought maybe, you know, he might be busy. But I did have a feeling like this is strange because he usually would respond, yeah? But either way, I think I tried to call him as well and he didn't pick up. But his phone rang. His phone wasn't off. So my sister and I, we drove there to Broadstairs. He used to live in Broadstairs, yeah? We drove there together. We get to the house and we're like, okay, like knocking on the door. You know, he's not answering, knocking. And then like we get this feeling like, we're like, like, you know, like when you have a feeling, you don't want to say that, you don't want to say what it is, but you also have that feeling. Because that's just how we are as people, you know?
It's a gut feeling,
gut feeling. Something just snaps into your head. You're like, nah, I don't even want to think about that. That's mad. You know, that's mad to think about. But yeah, so we were knocking the door, you know, a lot. No answer. And so my sister's like, oh, like, call the police about it. And I'm like, I'll be real now. I don't like calling. I don't like feel comfortable around the police necessarily because there's certain things I'll get into as well.
Yeah.
I just don't like the police personally as well. So I always feel uncomfortable. So I'm just like, oh, you call them. I don't want to speak to them. Like you.
Where are you guys at this point?
We're at his house there.
Right in front of it.
We're right in front of his house outside.
Okay.
We've been there for about 15 minutes now.
No answering.
No answer.
Got you.
Even like shouting as well. There's a window open. We're shouting. Dad, like, come on. Trying to call his phone. No answer as well on the phone. So I remember just thinking. I remember my sister thinking, like we looked at each other, but like neither of us wanted to say it because we were like, "What's going on?" Like kind of thing. And then she called the police, and the police arrived there. And the police arrived there. They knocked down. They like broke the door down, and then they went inside as well. So they knocked the door down. They went inside, and I'm already like, we're waiting now. Like they're in there for 5 minutes. And I'm thinking,
That's
this ain't good.
long, yeah.
And I'm thinking, they've not come in and come out again,
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, all right, what's going on here? And I remember I went up. He had like a chalet kind of thing, yeah. So I went up the decking to the chalet. My sister was still down there. And bro, I remember like I went to the door, and I remember just being like, what's going on? What's going on? The police came out and they were like, don't come in. And I remember I looked at my sister, and because she always says about this as well, and when she sees this, she'll get upset, because it's deep. Like I looked at my sister, and I remember and she looked at me, and like I just burst out crying, and I knew what was going on.
She just gave you the look. So your sister found out
Sorry, my sister was down there, right. And I was at the door with the police officers, like, what's going on? So my sister was down the steps, and then the police officers were like, and then they said to me like, it's not good. I'm really sorry, like your dad's passed away. And I literally just went on like, bro, I just lost it. Because I was like just thinking, I looked at my sister and she saw me crying. She burst out crying. And then I think they were in there. They'd moved my dad's body slightly because I think he'd basically he'd made a cup of tea. And then basically what had happened is his heart had just stopped. Not a heart attack, but he had, I can't remember what it's called exactly, cardiac arrest kind of thing, something like that.
Yeah.
And his heart had just stopped. And so he had no idea he was going to pass away. And the doctor even said that as well. He had no idea he would have passed away. So, which is good. It had just come out of nowhere, He'd made a tea and everything and just died on the spot there, passed away on the spot there, And so we literally, yeah, man, it's hard to even fathom a situation like that because it's like I've lost people before. But when you, like I was saying yesterday, when you lose a parent, it's a different level of it's a different level because it's like half of you it's half of you, so you just lose that whole half of you. It's like, and in that moment,
I'm saying I understand, but I shouldn't be saying that because I actually don't understand. I'm going to go back on my words.
But I know you don't understand, but I know
you said that for what you're dealing with. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And you said that for good reason because you're saying you're empathizing with me, yeah?
Of course.
Which is why I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for that, brother, as well. Because I know you're like me as well. I try and empathize and think, how would I feel in that situation?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, you can't even imagine it until you get into that situation.
100%.
And so when we go in, and so obviously, they moved my dad in there, and then we went inside. They let us go inside and see him, and my sister came in. I'd been on the phone to my mum as well, crying, saying, "Oh my God, I feel so bad. I didn't come and see him 2 weeks ago. I was feeling I had this crazy amount of guilt because I didn't come and see him 2 weeks ago, just because I was with a girl and I was drinking." And I remember I just thought and that, trust me, when I tell you that, I carried that guilt for years. And my dad passed in 2020. I didn't get through that. Even now sometimes, it's hard to talk about because I'm like, yo, that guilt is different because I'm really it's hard to even explain. I just carried that with me. And, but yeah, we went into the house and by then we were with my dad for a while. My older sister came, who we'd called. She turned up. And so it was me and my sisters and my dad were there. And let me tell you now, the police officers, they were just, there was no empathy there, no compassion. So, I tried to I don't even talk to them usually, but I tried to talk to them in that moment. I was feeling like I need to talk to someone and they were just so empty, but it is what it is. I can't blame them. That's not someone they're related to.
Yeah,
so haven't got the connection. So I can't think to myself, oh, they don't care about my dad.
Yeah.
Because it's not their dad, it's my dad. So I have to understand that. They see this stuff all the time. But yeah, bro, the spiritual aspect of that, when my dad passed away, was a different level, it's different because we knew that was not my father there. That whole spirit, the entity had left my dad, you know. So that was my dad. That wasn't my dad lying there. It wasn't his soul or spirit. It's his body, but that's not him, you know. And we could feel it in the room. You could feel that. That's something you can never, until you're in that moment. Yeah, you can never even describe that to people. It's a beautiful moment as well, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's beautiful as well as painful. It's a beautiful moment.
Got you, man.
And I'll never forget that experience.
Bro, thank you for sharing that, man. Let me give you a hug,
Thank you, bro. Yeah,
broski, man. My condolences, my brother,
so
man.
much.
My brother, man. You do so well, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Have some water, man.
Thank
have some
you,
water, my brother.
I think
do you know what it is? Like, I really commend you actually for being so brave to talk about that, because considering that you're still actually like dealing with this, and I know you've actually gone through therapy at some stage as well, not just for that reason, but also other reasons combined. You know what I mean? We'll get into that in a minute. But I can't imagine like what that feeling must have been like, because you know, I know individuals that have lost parents, but I've never met anyone or know about anyone that has actually experienced like what you've experienced to that extent, like actually finding your dad and being the one that actually called the police, and etc. Does that make sense? So honestly, like, my condolences, my brother.
Thank you,
know
bro.
what I mean?
I appreciate that a lot.
You're doing really well, man.
Thank you, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
always.
And like I said before, it's nice to even get it off my chest as well and talk about these things.
Yeah.
I'm at that point in my life where I can do that. I'm blessed. I can do that now because I've done the work in myself, you know.
Yeah.
And so I can be at this point now where I can actually do this without, you know, like it makes me upset. Don't get me. Later on, I can talk about it now. Later on, it will hit me. Trust me. But in the moment, I can talk about it from a different perspective, you know?
Yeah.
From a more mature perspective as well.
Yeah.
So thank you, bro. I appreciate that a lot. Thank
every time, man. And I just want to, you know, and we've had this conversation before as well, like, it's a free space over here, you know? So it's what, like, sometimes, like, guests, like, they come on here and they be, for them to be able to get things off their chest.
Yeah.
Without being interrupted or without and I'm sorry if I did at some points.
No, but you've been amazing. You've been amazing, man. Seriously, you've been amazing.
My brother, I appreciate you. And just, you know, just anything that you've been through without actually being judged. And that's why, like, sometimes when I do watch certain platforms, you know, and someone talks about it, their problems. Yeah. There's questions, or why didn't you deal with it this way, or why didn't you deal? Do you know what it is with me? When things have happened in the past, is a reason why it's a past.
Exactly.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
What is it going to do for me now asking you, why didn't you do this, or why did you? And I'm not even talking about your dad's situation, because you've dealt with that amazingly. Do you know what I mean?
Bro. Thank you,
100%, because you had a gut feeling, you went to his house and etc. Yeah. But just enjoy, I'm talking about just normal, like, personal things that people go through. Do you know what I mean? Whether it was you drinking or whether it was you did. We can always have conversations just normally moving forward, and I can always ask, like, what would you do different this now, or what would you? Do you know what I mean?
There's always gonna be things you would do differently.
100%.
I'm a firm believer, like, everything that I've done has brought me to the place I am now. You see where I'm coming from, bro? So it took me a long time to go to bereavement counselling, to go to therapy, because I was pushing it back, you know. But we got there in the end as well, and, you know, it helped a lot. It did. So I just want to say, is anyone thinking about, like, they don't want to go to therapy, because I know how it is as a man. I know how it goes. You're like, nah, let me deal with it like this. Let me deal with it like this. Like, I'm cool. Like, you think you are, and then it piles up, and then the anxiety attacks come, and then the panic attacks come, and then you start. Trust me, it's like this. It will, like, you end up not being able to function in everyday life. You know?
It could burn you much so inside. Because sometimes, like, even with me, like, I've had bad traits like that, where sometimes I build things in because I don't want to share things too much, or whatever, and then I'll just, you know, have a more of an inner battle with myself.
Always gonna happen, man.
And it's like, you know, when you just normally just having conversation with anyone or whatever, like, certain things will hit you, and now you doze off. You might not be paying attention to this person, and etc. But speaking, and this is not about me, by the way. This is about
no, this is about me. No, because I like that, bro. You know me as a person. I know what people might be thinking. Like, he's talking a lot, but I'm the kind of person. I'm a people person. I like conversations with people. I'm interested to know about other people. So thank you for even. I like this, bro.
Do you know what? I really enjoyed our conversation off camera, because you come across as such a, like, for the, like, people might see, you know, Koski, as in like, got your name right.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting. They might see it. I saw that you hesitated, but you got it. Come on, man. Yeah.
But people might have seen his content, and like when you give that energy out and whatever, no one would ever think that you have been through a fraction of what you've told me so far. Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, you know what, you're amazed, just the conversations we have, how respectful you are. And one thing I've also noticed about you, that me, you actually like have in common, is we're not streetwise in terms of how we speak, our grammar and etc. And I've noticed that about you. Like you don't, nah fam, all of this, like you don't. And I really command that. Like I really respect that, especially at your age, bro. Like it doesn't.
But do you know what's interesting? Sorry to interrupt you as well. Do you know what's interesting? I did a video about this as well.
Okay.
Because I was saying how a lot of people will look down on, because you say about this as well, but at the same time, I'm also a product of my environment, you know, in the way I speak as well, where I'm from. So I don't ever look down on how anyone speaks in the way they speak, you know, because it's called, like, I learned about MLE, multicultural London English, and everyone always says like, oh, why do people in London speak like this now? This white woman said this, you know, this woman said this on TikTok to me, like, oh, the way you're speaking, the way these young kids speak. And I know when they say that, they are saying the way young ethnic men speak. Let's not get that wrong, because that's what they're doing realistically. Because I did a video on that. It's indirecting. I did a video on this about people saying about, oh, white boys speaking black. I'm like, there's no way to speak black. You're talking about Jamaican and African influences in your language. That's where that comes from, like fam, rascal, all them things. All those things there, that comes from Jamaican influences. That isn't, so when people say speaking black and they look down on that, you know, because I understand where you're coming from. I know you weren't saying in a disrespect. You were saying, oh, you don't speak like that because we live in London. We're used to hearing that a lot. But people like to look at that in a negative way, especially where I'm from. If they hear it, where I grew up, if they hear someone speaking in that way, they're saying fam and blood, they'll be like, oh my god, you think you're a bad boy, you think you're black. Nah, it's just based on like where your upbringing, your surroundings, your influence.
Man. Behaviors. No, 100%
exactly,
sure.
Exactly.
No, you're 100% right. This is where the of course you've been dealing with like, you know, panic attacks and anxiety and stuff like that. Before we get into that, if you don't mind me asking, you were in a very serious relationship. It was for 4 years, if I'm correct.
My first relationship.
In your words, it was very toxic. She came across as, and I know you said like you don't want to speak bad about her, which I highly respect. I highly respect that. That's very manly.
I always say that because I want to make it clear as well. And I won't say any names or anything like that. I've been in a lot of different relationships, so it could be any of them. But I was in a relationship where it was very toxic, and I also was the cause of that. We both were the cause of the toxic stuff, you know. I was messaging other women, messaging other girls, you know. And like I was talking about before, how my father, I used to not respect how he treated my mum by talking to other women and blah, blah, blah. I became like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is, and I started excusing my behavior because I started saying, oh yeah, no, this is just what men do. This is what we do as men. We talk to, you know what I'm saying? And in some ways, let's be real, in some ways as young men we do, you have all this testosterone, you listen, when you're young and me, not to be arrogant, I'm quite a confident person, so I've always found it easy to talk to people. I'm a people person, so when you're a people person and you got those communication skills, when it comes to dating, when it comes to women, it's not that difficult, you know. It makes things a lot more easy. So yeah, I kind of used that to my advantage, you know. The kind of the you know, smooth talking ladies man thing.
You got the game in you.
The game, innit? The game's the game. You know what I'm saying? And I used to preach that the game. I used to be like, the game, like my dad's got game, so I've got game, like type of thing, you know? But what happens with that is that you end up becoming, it becomes too much, and you end up having side girls and blah blah blah. You got loads of girls, and it's an ego boost. It's a validation thing. So you have loads of these women around you. You're like, look at me. And then it becomes like, that's when it becomes toxic, because then you end up just not focusing on your goals, and you end up, it just becomes all about, I got girls, like this and that. That's me anyway. I was obviously, like we both said, you were a musician before as well, and I was in my past as well. Like, so being in those scenes, lifestyle
wasn't great.
The women that are around you, your friends that are around you, you know how that goes, innit? So it becomes a thing where you know?
Yeah, you can get lost in the sauce.
You get lost in the sauce,
Easy.
yeah. Exactly,
Easy.
Rakeem. You get I love that. You get
yeah.
lost in the sauce. Like Gucci Mane says, you get lost in the sauce, you know? And these things end up becoming very toxic because when you introduce other girls into your life, when you already have girls in your life, it's not gonna go. It doesn't end well.
Excuse me, brother. Yeah, no, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. And the thing is, like when you said like she became controlling and there was even moments where you talked about she started showing up at places that you was at and stuff like that.
So
like just talk to me about that, and just talk to me about that relationship just in general, and then how it ended.
So that relationship, so with that relationship, I mean, it was an amazing relationship as well. Let me just start by saying this: lovely, amazing person she was, and we were young when we met. Very young, you know. We met in college when we were in college together. So that relationship was one of those puppy love relationships, you know, a beautiful relationship. First relationship, lovey-dovey, always with each other, you know, always with each other. Best friends kind of thing, everything like that. And she even helped me, like, I used to smoke back then, you know, green. I used to smoke that stuff back then. And it even helped me, having her in my life, I was able to just stop because I've got this other thing. And I think I don't know about the ADHD diagnosis, but it's a kind of thing where once I'm focused on something, I need to be focused on something and have a goal. So it could be a relationship, it could be like kickboxing, what I do, whatever it could be doing, I need a focus, And now it's content, social media right now, and it will continue to be. But so that relationship was amazing, you know, a beautiful relationship, but it got very intense very quickly. Within a year or so. Right. And so we're going on a holiday in a year. We went to the Dominican Republic. A year after we met, and 2 weeks before that, she finds out I'm messaging another girl. You know. Okay. And she goes through my phone and sees that. So we're going on holiday now. When we're going on holiday after she finds out about this, but we booked the flights, bro. And I know.
I booked the damn flight.
I booked the flights. And listen, what's funny is I know there's going to be some people out there who have done the exact same, and this happened to them as well. Because I know without a doubt there'll be other guys who have been booked to flights with their girl, even for like 6 months, and then they might cheat, or their girlfriend finds out they've messaged other girls. You got to lock in with the holiday still getting. Do you know what I'm saying? It's an expensive holiday. I think I paid at the time. I booked the flights at first. It was like. And bear in mind, I'm like 18 then. It's like, it was like $2,000, you know?
Okay. So you think like that, like, are you saying to the people's like still locking with the...
I'm saying like you still have to, like, as in the flights were locked in. So it's like, I couldn't just cancel the holiday because it couldn't just be like, oh yeah, listen, I can't come now because basically my girl found out I'm chatting to another girl.
No, not from your perspective, but what if she like just hypothetically said, you know what, I'm not even going to go on this flight no more. Oh, bro. And knowing that you've booked these tickets.
Oh, bro, that's what I'm saying. That as well. That's also a madness as well. If that happened, that's the thing. But obviously she wasn't like that. She was fully like still wanted to go on the holiday,
Got you.
And we went on the holiday, and bro, there was so much madness on that holiday as well then. I remember...
What a place to go to, Dominican Republic.
You understand, yeah? Listen, I'm a mixed race guy, yeah? So they already think, when I'm in the Dominican Republic, they already think I'm from there. So they think I'm from there, and I'm there with a white girl. A white girl from like a white town, yeah? Yeah. So the whole situation there, I've got like these, like, you know, Dominican women coming up to me saying, oh yeah, let's go for a dance. And it's not even me doing anything. It's mad because it's not even me doing it. But they're coming up to me just because that's the culture. And it's funny.
They're very Brazilians with that,
Exactly, bro. I had this conversation literally yesterday about this, about the culture, about Jamaican culture and Caribbean culture, about how, you know, they do the dancing and stuff and they don't see it as cheating.
Oh, yeah. So, they have that. You're 100% right.
Bro. They don't
Brazilians
see
and all of these Spanish, they have that as well.
So they're asking me for dances and stuff, but you got to remember, it's mad because I'm in a relationship. My girl has found out was speaking to a girl like 2 weeks before this. And on top of that, also, like, I've got these girls bear in mind older women, they're in like their 30s as well, moving to me as well. On the holiday, trying to ask for dances. And me being a young man, I'm 18 years old. So I'm like this, and I'm like, listen.
I bet you just looked at your girl like, should I?
I'm 18, but I'm like, you know, like, and you gotta understand, like, I'm 18, like, and I'm with the girl who I've first started going out with, my first relationship. You know, like, I've not experienced these baddies and stuff. Like, I'm in Dominican Republic, bro. It's different levels. Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, so it's like, it's one of those things where I wasn't even doing anything wrong necessarily. It's just that. And when you add alcohol to that equation, do you see where I'm coming from? It's always going to get messier. When you add alcohol to the equation, let's be real now, because these women were probably saying things to me, and I was probably being a bit flirty back, naturally, but accidentally at the same time, because I've been drinking. I'm probably like, oh no, I'm good, you know, that kind of thing. And
the devil is like, whispering or some like, get at her, you know what I mean?
And exactly, and then your girl's saying stuff like, why'd you react like that though? You know them ones where you can't win. You know when a girl moves to you in those situations, you cannot win.
But you know what? Especially when you know what's been found out 2 weeks prior to the holiday. So
it's
you're walking on thin ice already.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I mean?
So there's already that aspect of like, she's already thinking like, yo, he already wants to pursue other girls anyway. So when a girl's the attractive women's moving to him now,
it's light work for him.
He would want to, innit? He wants to. Let's be real. He's not. He's just doing it because I'm here. So that's obviously what. And the thing is, when you're young, when you're 18 years old, or whatever, you're gonna be very insecure. Men and women. You know, I speak to a lot of young guys. They come to me about how to deal with situations and relationships when you're young. And they're always like, oh, you know what, my girl won't listen to me, and my girl wears this, and I don't want her wearing this. And I'm like, brother, listen, you have to just go and have fun while you're young. And don't get it twisted, yeah? I do think some people meet when they're very young, and they stay and they get married and they stay together forever. But we have to also be very realistic in this world. That is very uncommon. Especially in Western society, especially in England. You know what I'm saying, brother? Let's be real now. And especially with social media and the time we're living in, one person sticking with one person from a teenager, from a teenager till now is very, very unlikely. Right. So you have to understand, like, those situations, if you want to be with multiple girls when you're young, you need to go and do it. You can't stay with one girl. But you can't do what I did and move to other girls.
Stay single
basically. Don't get it twisted, because I know there's people that are going to understand this as well. Don't get it twisted, because after this, I used to be in an open relationship with this Russian girl, a few years ago. And we're still cool now. We're still friends now as well. She's lovely as well. She's super funny. She's literally like me, but the female version. She's blessed. She's really cool, man. She's cool. But,
I think I know where you're going with this.
So we were in an open relationship, and I literally, and the thing is, I was like so... like kind of, I just loved just having, you know, like I like female company, basically. I'm that kind of person, you know. My dad was like that as well. I'm the kind of person, and like some of my posts you'll see, I'm a big like, in terms of like protecting women and looking out for women. I love that, because I feel like, well, growing up with 2 older sisters and being the only boy, I've always looked at women in a very respectful way and put them on a pedestal. I have done. That's me personally. And a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, you pander to this and you pander to that. Because
can we sorry to cut you off. I think that's very important, because I saw one of your videos, and I think we could and I've spoken about that on one of my podcasts as well.
I saw that as well. I saw this as well. I liked that as well, what you said.
And I like what you said, because your one was completely different as well. It was when you're walking behind a woman, you were talking about, you know, and it's quiet, and it's like there's barely
nighttime.
Any people, especially at nighttime. Just to cross over to the other side. And I'm sorry, we're going to come back to what you were saying.
No. Let's talk
and
about this as well.
You're walking after her, and you were saying, you know, just to make that woman feel comfortable, why don't you cross over?
Exactly.
Or why don't you, do you know what I mean? Just have that distance or whatever. And I 100% agree with that, because I'll give you an example, right? Like, there's been moments for me where I've just, and I've had this conversation with someone a couple of months ago, where a woman can come, like, from the opposite direction, and you're walking towards where she's coming from, right? And normally you could see from the body language whether that person feels
threatened or not.
Or uncomfortable and
Yeah.
stuff like that, some women will hold their purse very tight,
Yeah.
or as they walking past you or whatever. There's been moments maybe I've got a hoodie on
Course.
because it's
Yeah.
cold or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like hoodies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not really like that kind of. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But for necessity, yeah, it's gotta
Yeah, of
come
course,
on.
of course. Yeah, that's natural.
But if I see a woman walk up,
yeah.
I will take the hoodie off.
Exactly.
Like, do you
yeah.
know what I mean?
It's small
That's number-
gestures.
yeah.
Yeah.
I won't even. Sometimes I used to think, you know what? If I just say hi, that will make that person feel comfortable. But then I went quickly back on my words
Yes,
on that because
yeah.
it's like, okay, is he not trying to talk to me?
That's the
Is
thing.
It, yeah,
That's the thing.
So
Yeah.
that's number one. I do agree with that. And even you said another thing about when she is sitting on the bench by herself. And
Yeah, on the train. So someone commented, put a reply. So that video kind of went viral.
yeah.
And then someone put a response to that.
I saw that response
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
and
yeah.
that person was like, okay, so now as men, we have to avoid, doing certain things. The thing is, everything is not for everyone. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
whoever made that comment, it's
Yeah.
not for him. He's
Yeah.
not your audience. Does that make
That's what I'm
sense?
trying to say, though.
Yeah.
You see when people, Raheem, like, this makes so much sense here. These man, I made a video about this again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the video you're talking about. This one, yeah. So
you
I'm
don't know,
saying,
yeah.
people like. You know what's crazy? Like it always amazes me how people take what you say online as a personal thing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like they genuinely
Personal
think you're
attack.
just talking to them.
Yeah.
Or a personal attack, or just like they take it so literally to their own life.
Yeah.
I'm like, because this guy said something like oh yeah, so yeah, but why would I not walk behind a woman when I'm not gonna do anything? I'm not a bad person. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm like, you're so. It's just stupid. It's like, that's not what it's about.
I've just literally
And-
said myself, sorry, bro. I've literally said myself right now,
Yeah.
like, I will like take my hoodie off or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Exactly.
Because
you're
I'm not a bad person. Do you
but
get what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah, but you're doing it. They don't know that.
No, but what
they
I'm
don't know
saying
that.
is
Yeah.
you don't have to be, you don't have to justify whether you're, because that person doesn't know whether you're a bad person.
Exactly.
And that's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
So,
yeah.
Another thing that you also said was like sitting at the bench where she's by herself. This is
Yeah.
reading the room. You
Yeah.
call this reading the room.
Thank you.
You know?
Yo, Raheem, I love that. Listen, come here. I love that you said that. Reading the room, because
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people don't do. That's a big. I'm big on that. I'm big on communication skills. I'm big on social skills. I'm big on reading the room. Yeah, that you're in, because that's why you're a podcast host. You're a good podcast host, because you
appreciate
can
that,
read
bro.
the room with your guests. Yeah, that is a key thing. And this is to a lot of young guys. I want you to understand, reading the room is key when it comes to women in general. Yeah, if you're struggling with women and like getting into relationships, learn to read the room, and I guarantee you won't struggle after that.
Okay.
Because that's why where a lot of these guys go wrong.
Yeah.
They make women feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, girls don't like me. Why don't they like me?"
Yeah,
It's because you're not making them feel comfortable. You're not reading the room. Like if you go up to a lady and talk to them, and you can tell their body language is a bit like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't know what that woman's been through. I got a message yesterday, just last night, from a woman saying she appreciated my video, the one we were talking about crossing the road, because she'd been, she'd been, in her past.
Exactly.
She'd been assaulted, in
Many
that way.
of them go through that. Yeah.
She'd been essayed in her past.
Okay.
And so she's like, I really appreciate your message, because like a lot of men don't understand that. And I think you guys need to understand when a woman's been through that kind of thing, yeah, and I've got female friends who have been through that, yeah. One of my family members as well was, essayed when she was younger as well, yeah. So I know that personally, how scared that will make a woman become.
Of course, of course.
So it's just doing the small gestures. It's not about you.
It's not about
That's
you.
the thing.
It's
It's not about
them.
It's about them.
Yeah,
it's about them, bro.
Exactly.
Like, and they'll take it so personally. Like, yeah, but I'm not this person. I'm not a bad
100.
person. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And that is just that's just
Crazy.
idiotic stuff.
No, crazy
It's very
thing.
stupid. Yeah.
And one more thing I was going to say was, actually, I've got a couple of more things to say, but I'm just saying, general, what I wanted to add as well is the reason why you've started, speaking up for, giving these sort of like advice
Platform,
or platform to speak to these individuals, especially the female in this video you made.
Yeah.
It's because of some of the things that you've experienced
Exactly, yeah.
with your sisters.
Yeah,
like not you
yeah,
experienced,
exactly.
but some things you have seen and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Could you elaborate a little bit on
Yeah.
that? And then
Yeah. So basically, for the people that follow me on TikTok as well, have seen my TikTok, you would have seen this on there as well. So after I posted that video about crossing the street, I did a story time basically, and I explained the reason why I'm so militant about these things when it comes to women and protecting women. The reason why I'm like that is because when I was young, so when I was like 7 years old, and obviously the place I grew up in East Sussex there, my middle older sister used to pick me up from school sometimes. So she was 7 years older. So she's maybe 13, 14, yeah? Or maybe 12, 13, 14, that kind of time. And we used to walk back from school. Very close distance from my primary school to my mother's house, yeah? Very close. And in that space, in that time, yeah, when I say close, I mean like a 2-minute walk. There would be men in white vans beeping at my sister in her school uniform, yeah, when she was a child, 12, 13, 14, in her school uniform, beeping at her, shouting things out the car. And this is at a time when I'm in primary school hearing about stranger danger, yeah? So I was scared. And I'm not afraid to admit, I was very scared. I think I used to say to my mum, oh, no, my sister, like, I won't say my sister's name up, like, oh, no, she's picking me up from school today. Oh, like, I don't want her to pick me up. I don't want her to pick me up because I was scared that people were going to stop and, like, take us, kidnap us, you know? I was scared, man. So that's why, growing up, I've ended up having this kind of, like, anger towards men who touch women up in the clubs and things like that. And like I was talking about, that's why I ended up getting a criminal record because of that.
Because you got into a lot of fights.
Yeah,
and stuff
I used to
like
get
that.
into a lot of fights when I was from the age of maybe like 19 to say like 25. I used to get in a lot of fights, you know, and usually it'd be because of drinking, but you know, my intentions were right, you know. I remember like when I went into a club with my first partner, I went into a club with her, and then my friend who actually passed away, I was with him and his girlfriend, yeah, at the time. His first girlfriend. And I remember we went into a club and there was a guy standing on the door just grabbing girls' bums as we walked in. He did it and because our girlfriends were walking in front, he didn't know we were with them. Yeah. So my girlfriend at the time told me who it was, and I just whacked him around the face, slapped his glasses off his face. And he was one of them people. It's always, listen, these creepy dons, these creepy guys here that are like this, they always do it to women but never to men. Always. And I'm not talking about the creepy stuff. I'm talking about they always get cheeky to the women but never the men. Like whenever you meet a man who will get violent and rowdy towards women all day, every day, yeah, but they will never do it to a man. No. Like, and as soon as you pull them up on it, they're shook.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, that's what it is.
100.
Straight up, they're always not on it.
Lies told.
As soon as you tell a man, listen, what are you doing? Like they're instantly not on it.
Yeah.
And so that happened to me. I mean, when I was out and I was with this girl who I was out. This is what I mean. When I was kind of seeing this girl at the time, I was with her and her friend, yeah, and two girls basically, and they were from that town. And I'd come down from London when I was living there. I came down from London to meet them there. Yeah, and we were waiting to go inside a club, and she sees her ex-boyfriend there, and her ex-boyfriend's with a big group of guys, and then obviously she's me. And then the two girls. And then obviously he walks past her and whispers something in her ear. And I go, what did he just say? Obviously I've been drinking as well. So, you know, you get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is before I started even doing martial arts and before I was like putting on muscle. So I was just skinny, but I was still always active. You know, I was like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I was just like that. You know, and I'm not saying that in a way to be like, to toot my own horn. I got beaten up and jumped so many times, you know, and I'm just saying I was on it because I was always up for a fight. It doesn't mean I won the fights. I was just always on it for a fight, you know.
There to defend
I was there
yourself,
to do,
100%.
of course.
Real, man. That's hard. That's
and I took bare L's. I got jumped loads of times as well.
Man, we all
because
did, man.
I always stand on what I believe in. I'll never go back on my morals because of you think you're a big bad boy. I don't care. I'll still say how I feel. So basically, what I did was, it was a quick thing. I literally just walked up to the guy, and I said, what you just say? His friend started walking over, giving like loud mouth, and I just punched him in the face, you know, and then knocked his teeth out basically. And then I'm thinking, okay, now I'm gonna get jumped by all these guys, and you know, they're like shotters and stuff. I'm thinking, they're gonna all jump me now. They're all gonna jump me. I'm just gonna take it now. I'm drinking. It's fine. I'll get jumped. And then they didn't do anything. They called the police. And I'm like, what? Because I'm not used to that when I grew up. I'm like, bro, what the hell was going on?
There was almost shadow boxing, thinking someone else is going to come. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking these are going to just all jump me now. And then I'm like, bro, man didn't do it. No one, none of them.
That was a big statement you made.
That was a bit, exactly, because so you know what it is. And I was talking about this recently as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain people have, and bear in mind, I want to tell you, this was a year after my dad had passed away. Yeah. So I'm in that zone of like, I don't give a F about anything.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm in that zone, bro. I'm in that, like, I'm really like, I don't care.
I'm grilling anyone right now.
Yeah, and that's, I'm in that nihilistic state of like, I don't care. Like, realistically, you know? Like, I'm drinking, I'm out here, I've got like whatever, I'm confident, I'm like that, you know?
Yeah.
So Yeah, man. So I punch them up. I'm thinking they're all gonna jump me because that's happened to me multiple times because of that kind of thing. And then they just call the police, and I'm thinking, okay, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I told them, yeah, I hit him. I told the police when they pulled up that I've hit him as well. There's no witnesses. No one said anything yet. So I'm thinking like, okay, it's just this and that, whatever. And so a year later, suddenly, I find out that I've got a warrant out for my arrest because they'd been sending letters through my old address.
Oh yeah.
So when I was at university in Greenwich, they were sending, I think, letters to there or something like that. And then so I wasn't receiving any of them. Yeah.
Got you.
And then, bro, what happened is, I end up finding out the police had come to my front door, like when I'm not there. I was with like a girl one of the girls I was seeing at the time, yeah? I was at her house. My sister texted me saying, oh, by the way, the landlady said that you've got the police at the door, that you got a warrant out for your arrest. And so I'm like, hey, what have I done? And this is how mad it is, yeah? This is how peak it is at the time, yeah? I'm thinking to myself, because obviously I'm going out a lot back then, drinking, and I'm getting in fights a lot as well, and I'm sticking on dons for certain stuff, you know. So I'm thinking, bro, what have I done recently? Then?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, bro. My sister texted me this. I'm thinking, what have I done? I'm thinking, because I'm the kind of person, bro. I'm an anxious overthinker. So if someone tells me, bro, you know what I'm saying? As soon as someone tells me something like, yo, I got to tell you something.
Tell me right now.
Tell me right now. Me and my boy talk about this.
Don't tell me.
Yeah. And me and my boy talk. Shout out my boy Curse Brother, yeah, as well. Like he's big. He's a big TikToker as well. That's one of my best friends. Yeah. Me and him talk about this. Yeah. Shout out him because he's very similar to me. Very hyper ADHD, but also anxious. So when someone tells us like, oh, by the way, so as soon as I saw my text from my sister, bro, saying, oh, by the way, the police have come to the door, they're looking for you. I'm thinking, what have I done? Because bear in mind, this situation happened a year ago. So I'm not thinking it's to do with that. I'm thinking, yeah, that's not even deep. I punched him up. I didn't even know at the time that I'd rocked his teeth in, you know? I didn't know that. I thought I just, you know, I whacked him one time, done. I was thinking it was like that. And then I find out, like, they came back, I hand myself in. And then I handed myself in. They tell me what's happened as well. And obviously I find out I've got a warrant out for my arrest because of that. I'm like, what? So he's really gone and pressed charges. He went and pressed charges. Yeah. So I ended up having to go to court. Yeah. And I pled guilty as well. So I went to court, got like community service, like 150 hours community service, yeah, and probation, whatever with that. And I had to pay for his teeth. But I'm like, bro, like I'm thinking, this ain't even deep. Like where I grew up near Brighton, when we used to go out to Brighton there, this is regular every weekend though. Like a lot of, especially the white lads I grew up with, the geezer lads I grew up with, yeah, they're always fighting. Every weekend they go out, they're fighting. They go in pub and fighting. So I'm thinking that's natural, it's normal. I'm thinking, in my head, in my warped mind, I'm thinking, that's not even deep. And then, but he's done that. And I'm just trying to I want to let people know like the consequences of one small decision. Yeah, I'm on probation and community service for 6 months because of that. Yeah, I was going, and I was obviously like, I could have done it faster, but I was, every other week I was breaching. I was saying, oh, I'm ill, because I didn't want to go in. Listen, you got to remember, a whole, say, 150 hours is a long time of like your time, yeah? Yeah, that's all your time going to community service. Yeah, and you're doing good things as well. You're helping out the community, obviously doing things that contributes. So now at my age now, I see that and I'm like, you know what? I did some good things. I helped to the garden centre. I helped like build in Clissold Park and then in Wood Green and stuff. I did some good things. So I see the positives of that. But at the same time, bro, you got to understand, that's 150 hours of your time. You don't get back. Yeah, and you're just wasting money. And it's like some of my friends who have come out of prison, yeah, and I tell them I don't want them to go back because it's just like you're wasting your life doing that stuff, man. Time's crucial. Time is key. There's nothing more important than time. Don't care what anyone says, money, whatever anyone says. Time is the most crucial. Like it's a commodity we have in this world that we need to take more. We need to take more seriously. You know. So yeah.
No, man, bro. Yeah. That is absolutely. And the thing is, people need to be very careful because you are right. And this is you like. We'll call this back in the days, like, you know what I mean? It's quite a very long time ago. And I'm sure, like, you'll probably think twice now to even, unless you really have to defend yourself.
Unless,
someone physically comes on you or
I haven't been in a fight. I do kickboxing. So when I go to Muay Thai and kickboxing, I'm obviously there is different. You take it all out. But then you start to learn, listen,
discipline
the guys,
well,
the discipline. Yeah. And you know what's funny? I spoke about this yesterday, yeah? To a guy, another podcast, was I was speaking to him, and I said to him, listen, bro, like, the people you don't think are like on it, they all mess you up, bro.
The ones that
Like,
are quiet.
Because a lot of the nerdier guys, some of them are like super into anime, for example. Some of these guys, bro, they train hard.
It's funny you said this,
brother.
I spoke about this on a podcast.
Yeah,
that's exactly those words, and I'm gonna send a clip to you.
Yeah,
but it's exactly the ones you think he'll just come to uni.
Yeah.
And he's got his glasses on, and
bro.
he walks like a nerd or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll do Mr. Miyagi on you.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Straight up.
The ones that don't want the trouble is the ones you don't want to push.
That's
and
what I'm
another
saying.
thing is the ones that are disciplined in martial arts and kickboxing, etc. Normally, the way we are is like we try to avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But when it's on,
yeah.
it might be two, but quickly.
Exactly.
And then if he's on the ground or whatever and he gets up, you leave him be.
That's it.
With the other guys that think, okay, I'm going to F this person up, they'll keep going even when they're on the floor. Are you with me?
That's exactly what
Sometimes
it is.
with the ones
I know.
do kickboxing, just one, and then just he'll leave you alone. He'll be like, all right, cool, we good now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've seen my friend. My friend's a boxer,
Yeah.
and I've seen him. But obviously, he's been a bit naughty in his past, Like he's done naughty things, He used to fight a lot. But he always said to me, it's so funny. He's like, Kozgi, bro. He's like, I don't fight. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I said to him, you're always fighting. He's like, when do you see me fighting? I'm just sitting, guys. Like, because when they disrespect or when this happens, I hit them and that's done. Do you know what I'm saying? I hit them and then do you know what I'm saying? They don't want it because they realise, because when you get hit, you know what I'm saying? People don't understand, If you've never been hit in your face before,
oh my God,
it's something that you want to avoid, bro. It's not like,
and they think they will never get hit in their face.
Exactly,
bro,
but and also, but this is another thing I want to get onto real quick as well, because I know you got. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to let you know about this, bro. People on the internet, not just people on the internet, but people in person in real life, they say a lot of things. That are disrespectful about other people. Say like they'll be disrespectful, they'll gossip about their friends. But they've never been in altercations, so they think they can just go around talking this and that about anyone. You can't go. Listen, if you talk negatively about people, if you say these negative things about people to other people, and they find out, expect smoke to come with that. Because that's the world we live in. As a man, you have to understand, if you talk negatively and you draw people out on the internet and you say these bad things, and you have to back it in person. That's why anything you ever see me say on the internet to anyone, I will always say that to their face. And I don't even get in altercations. I'm like, that's just if I met this person in person, they're not going to say it to me, because more time people don't. Most people you meet are respectful, innit?
100%.
Most of the time people are respectful, but people on the internet, and I know it's just how it goes, but they just want to say stuff to say stuff. And anything you could say, listen, I want world peace. I want to end poverty. And they're going to say something like, but what about it? They're going to make anything
but what about me?
But what about you're not going to do anything. You can't win. So don't try and win with everyone online. I used to be a big old people pleaser, big time. I used to always want everyone to love me because I grew up being popular at school. I was popular everywhere I went, I loved it. And then I'm like, hold on. Like, why am I trying to like get everyone to like me so much? Like, just that's why I'm more like this now, because I've always been firm in my ideas. I've never been someone to like bow down to peer pressure. However, I did always try and make people feel good and blah blah blah. Even though realistically, a lot of the times I shouldn't have, But I just wanted everyone to like me, and then I ended up being like, listen, if you don't like me, I don't really care. Because I stand on my beliefs.
100%.
Yeah, man, I just had to say that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. Absolutely. The way you ended with your, I think we've got about. Let me just double check. Just about under 15
that's minutes. Fast, man. That's been mad. That's mad.
Yeah, we've got about 15 minutes left. But we're trying to squeeze this last part in.
That's perfect,
So the last relationship ended because of, you felt like you're being controlled, but of course my
first one. My first
that
one.
ended and it's stuff like that. And then you've also had moments where you had your you obviously said why it was controlling, because you were doing this stuff, and she just wanted to find out what you was on, basically.
Also she, not just that, but she was actually just a very controlling person anyway. Naturally, I think maybe there's insecurities there, everyone's different. Everyone's got these insecurities as well. Jealousy is a basic human emotion. But I talk about jealousy a lot. I'm saying jealousy, you have to learn to control it, because when you become, when you end up stalking your exes and stalking certain people and finding out where they are, and listen, it's never gonna, when you do that to someone, if you stalk someone, they're not gonna want to come back. I'm just being real, because I think a lot of men and women need to see this, both genders need to see this. If you go and keep constantly harassing someone and finding out where they are and being like, listen, come back, I need you,
it's going to make them run away.
It's going to push people away. And I know a lot of you guys, like, you mean well, you have a lot of love to give. But if that person doesn't want to receive it in a certain way, you can't force it.
100%.
You can't force love. You can't force a connection.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's powerful, man. Very powerful. We're going to get on to the woman that you're with right now. And from what you've told me, amazing woman. I highly respect
that's
her.
That's my queen, man.
I don't want to say her name, but
I
shout
won't
out
say
to
her name.
you.
Shout out to you. I'm not going to say her name either.
Because
that's my corporate queen. I always say that. She works in corporate as well, so it's like yeah.
And the thing is, bro, I've heard like a lot of things that you've told me about her. I can tell the way you've spoke about her. Very passionate, and she changed your life around. To a certain degree. Would
she
that be fair?
Did. Within 1,000%.
Yeah. And one of the things was she's the one that pushed you towards being going to therapy, number one. Also pushed you in terms of like seeing yourself as a valuable person.
Respecting myself.
Respecting yourself.
Who I am as a person, and remembering who I am as well.
Yes. And also she's the one that actually that you've met while you was at your warehouse warehouse job. So we're going to talk about that briefly. Cool. And then hopefully we can start wrapping it up. But talk to me, man.
So you know what's interesting? When I met like my girlfriend now, when I met her, listen, it's so funny because she'll see this. When I met her, this is when we're saying 2021. Or 2020. So I was moving mad then. And she knew about it. So she knows my past. I've always been honest with her. When I moved to her, it's so funny, it was in Brixton McDonald's, She was with her friend as well. And I moved to her and I was like to her, listen, like doing all this smooth talk. It was like 4 a.m. in Brixton, And she's like to me, and I'm like to her, I got a girlfriend, but it's all good. I'm in an open relationship, so it's all good, you know what I'm saying? And you know what is my girl? Like, she's not like that. Like, she's a Christian, she's a Christian girl, She's just like, she doesn't like that. And I was always used to getting my own way because a lot of girls are like, oh my God, like he's so confident, so like this. But my girlfriend now, she's like, she don't rate that. She's just like, that's dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like that kind of stuff, you know? So it took a few years. We had each other on Snapchat. Took years, like say 3-4 years for us to actually end up meeting up. And I feel like I had to grow as a person. And I had multiple relationships in that time since I last saw her. Like some other more toxic ones. Won't even get into them, just messy ones basically.
Got you.
Not as toxic, but just messy. And then so we met, we've been together a year now. We met last year. And she basically, when I met her then, I was working in every warehouse, and I always talk about this as well. I spoke about this on Curse Brother, my boy. He's a YouTuber as well. You guys probably know him, a lot of you. I was in one of his vlogs talking about working in every warehouse, and I was saying it's just everyone who has worked in a warehouse knows.
Oh man,
have you done it?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So everyone that worked in a warehouse, you know how peak it can get, bro. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can just tell you know as well, innit? So man, like, but you know what it is? It's like, so I'll get into it a little bit as well. My best friend Tyler, shout out my brother Tyler. He passed away a year and a half ago. Yeah,
my condolences.
Thank you, bro. He passed away in January 2024, and that brought to light a lot of the grief I had from my father passing away. So undealt with trauma I had. All that stuff that was undealt with, I had that. And I had this guilty side of me because my brother Tyler, he overdosed, He passed away in that way. And I always felt like that guilt came back again, where I felt like I could have been there for him.
Got you.
I always felt that. And I did try to as well. He was like a brother to me. That's been my best friend since I was 12 and he was 11 when we first went to secondary school, Yeah. That was my brother for a long time, man. But obviously, that brought to light a lot of these things. That's where I started getting the anxiety attacks after he passed away. Started moving a bit erratic again. Like I'm kind of like getting in altercations with people in the street. Like I seen guys like being cheeky to women, and I'm like getting just straight away. I'm onto them, like getting angry, But obviously, I'm taking my anger and I'm doing something righteous. However, when you do something righteous, and you bring in your anger into it, it makes it about you. It becomes a selfish act in some ways. Because I like to think I was doing stuff to protect people who are more vulnerable, but I'm also getting my anger out. So it becomes about me, which is not the right way to go about things, you know? But aside from that, yeah, so when I met my girlfriend, she kind of just taught me like, at the time I was like, you know, I was kind of like, this is only a year ago as well. And my drive now for what I want to do, my purpose is I know what I want to do. I'm clear, tunnel vision, yeah? But then I was like, oh man, like, I don't really want to do music anymore. Like, what am I really doing? What am I doing? Should I just go and get an office job? Because realistically, let's be real now. A lot of people understand this as well, yeah? I wanted to get an office job to make my mum happy. Yeah? I wanted to get an office job to make my mum happy because I want my mum to be happy and be able to tell my family, oh yeah, because he's got a proper job. You know, he's got a proper job, he's doing that. But I'm like, I went into financial sales and I'm like, I hated it. I hated it. Yeah, and I'm like, this isn't me. I can't be fake. I can't sell things that I don't believe in. I can't sell a product I don't believe in. That's just not me. If I believe in something, believe me, I can do the marketing. I can sell the product. Yeah. But so it came down to that. It was a bit lost when I started dating my girlfriend last year, and she basically just instilled in me like what, like you've got way more than this. Why are you just like binge drinking and stuff? You know. I remember I told you on the phone, didn't I? I said about like we'd go out, yeah, and I'd be drinking, and I'd come on my way back home. I'd get more alcohol, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, because I grew up doing that. I grew up with binge drinking geezers and stuff, yeah? So like, they're all kind of like drinking. That to me, that's natural. I'm like, why is that so mad? And she's like, what, like when I go home after a night out, we don't carry on drinking, yeah? And she's not a big drinker. She never has been. So she's like very much different. Like she's never been blackout drunk. Like to me, that's mad. I'm thinking, what? You've never been that drunk that you can't remember the night? She's like, nah. I'm like, rah. So she just made me see things a lot more clearly and like, she gave me that love that I needed in that moment. And, you know, my mum and sisters were telling me for years, they were like, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to bereavement counselling. And I was like, yeah, I will. I just said to them, I will. But I never really did it, you know?
Got you.
And then a year ago, I started going there and really opening up about things as well. And there's one thing I will say, I always said about therapy, the reason why I didn't want to go was because I was like, why would I talk to a stranger about what I've been through? They're not going to be able to relate. They won't know what I've been through. They won't even really care. Do you see what I mean? I'm like, they're not going to care. But it's so much different talking to a stranger, yeah, than talking to a family member, because they also know you on a personal level. You can come in and speak to your therapist. They don't know you. You don't know them. Just clean slate. Yeah, you don't have to. They don't know about your past. They don't know you've, I don't know, been a super big drinker and that you've made those mistakes and that you've done whatever, you've done drugs or whatever you've done. Yeah, they don't know that about you, so they're not going to judge you on that. They just go from what you're telling them in the moment. Yeah, about what you've been through. So they're just going from, okay, this person's been through this trauma. They've been through this grief. How can I help them? And how can I get them to open up to me as best they can? Yeah. So yeah, that's the power of bereavement counselling and therapy. And I'm not even trying to say it's the be all and end all. I don't think it is. You need to do the inner work. You need to do the work yourself.
Got you.
You can't just go to therapy and think, oh yeah, I want to be good. I want to be good, man. Yeah, that's all good now.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
And just talk.
It doesn't work like that. You have to really actually put in the work.
Right.
And that's like why I was saying why I quit drinking alcohol 3.5 months ago. Because every time I went out, I would have this anxious feeling like, oh, I don't want to drink. I don't even want to drink anymore. But I was doing it anyway. Yeah, which is bad. I was like, before I'd step out and see my friends, before I go to a party or an event, I'd be like, oh, I get this anxious feeling in my stomach, like, oh, I'm drinking, what's gonna happen? Like, I might get in a fight like I used to. You know, I don't know, like, I just was scared of what I would become from the alcohol, innit? Because I had no control. And then, so yeah, man, like me personally, I know it's not for everyone, but I'll always say this, because I've got friends who drink a lot, who I'm trying to get to stop drinking. Trust me, I used to think when I was like in my early 20s, I used to say to myself, I can never imagine not drinking ever. Like, I'm always going to be drinking. It's just I won't drink this much. I could never imagine it. But now I'm genuinely being serious. I couldn't imagine going back to drinking.
Like,
I would hate it.
It's how powerful it
Brother,
is,
it's powerful, bro.
Yeah,
like having a clear conscience, clear mind, yeah, and being able to function without having a substance to make you, you know,
feel better.
Like when I was drinking, trust me, them demons came out. Yeah, those demons would come out when you're drinking. All the stuff you've been through, like, you know, my friends who've committed, passed away, unalived themselves, my friends who've overdosed, all that stuff came to fruition when I'm drinking. It's like everything is coming out. and all those things that you try to suppress, you realize, they're still there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you realize those demons, they're not gone. You think, I've dealt with it because I don't speak about it.
That's what it is.
That's not how it goes. So yeah, man. So yeah,
man, that's really powerful, man. And how has it been? Like, of course, it's been a year down now with your woman, and you feel like, you know, she's just constantly escalating you, pushing you, and that's very rare as well, because normally we live in a society, and I'm not saying all women, but normally it's the man that really pushes himself and it's not really, especially in this like society generation now, it doesn't really come around, because
I know, bro,
9 times out of 10 women would leave someone
at
like
their lowest
that was in your position, but respectfully, like, I'm just saying, do you get what I mean?
Factually, you're right, bro. That's facts.
But for her to be like, and even when you met her, she's, do you know what's real though? Yeah, the fact that you kept it straight up with her from the get go. Yo, I'm in the open. Like, I'm doing my thing.
And she seen my Snapchat. I was like this.
Women actually, sorry, bro. Women actually respect that a lot more.
They do.
Do you know what I mean? As opposed to finding things out.
They do, bro.
Put everything to the front line.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
I always say that, bro. Sorry to interrupt, because I'm passionate about that as well. Yo, a lot of men, a lot of young men especially, they try and be something they're not. You know, they try to be something they're not. Like, they'll take girls to, I don't know, Novikov or Sexy Fish, whatever the guys do. I don't really live that lifestyle. They go Sexy Fish, Novikov, and get the rentals just to impress a girl. But bro, that's not you every day. If that's you every day and you got that bank coming in, if you're a 7-figure Donny, and you can do that, you can maintain it. But you know what it is? I'm a firm believer. Never start off a relationship or a situation with a woman. Never start it off based on lies and materialism. You don't want a girl to be with you at your, you know, you don't want to start off by giving a girl £1,000 and that's how she know. Hey, no, he gives me £1,000. I had this conversation with my girl, and the girl she works with. There's a guy, that she knows. He's an older guy. Gives her money. Books her flights, gives her money, but she doesn't respect him. This is what I'm coming. Listen, money does not. You give money to a girl that does not equal respect. Money goes a long way though, but she has to respect you as a man first.
100%.
If a woman sees strength in a man, for who you are, and that's the thing with my girl. She knows we're gonna build something together because she sees this. She sees something in me, innit? She sees like the power I have in myself. She knows I'm gonna go far because I believe in myself. But a lot of men, like, they come into a woman's life, they just give money, and they just give money, and they're like, oh, why do women always cheat, bro? Because you're giving her money, you're not giving her anything else. There's no substance to you. There's no there's no personality, there's no substance, there's no like,
it's a cover for
charisma.
Really trying to make this person like you as well. It's a really cover,
and it's sad
sometimes, though. Especially, like, I'm not saying a lot of these men don't have game, and when I say game, is to be able to, like, be yourself and get this person to really fall for you as opposed to what you're giving. Exactly. Another thing I was going to say as well is, like, for example, in our deen, you can marry multiple wives, for example, right? And I always said to man, like, if that's your intention from the get-go and you're not married yet, make sure you have this conversation with your first wife before you get married to her. Do you know? Tell her, listen, this is what I want, and I want to get a second wife as well after you. But of course, I'm gonna, devote to you. I'm gonna be with you for a while and whatever. And after that, I'll reconsider. If she's cool with it, all good, clean. But women will find out 5-6 years down the line in marriage that he wants a second wife. And do you know what's crazier?
I know. You know what's crazy? My sister as well. Like, my sister, she's got Bengali family that lives next door to her, and they opened up to her, and the guy opened up to her and he said, you know what? I've got a whole other family in this area. He's like, I've got another wife and more kids in this area, but my wife doesn't know. I'm like,
that's
brother,
crazy.
That's madness, though. But he's a Muslim brother as well. But he's a Muslim,
crazy?
and he's not even told his wife this.
He's
got a whole separate family. See, that's why.
Let me tell you. Can I tell you something?
Yeah, of course.
Like, in order for you to, like, in deen, we're talking in Islamically, like, your wife's got to be, she's got to be cool with this, so she's got to agree to it. That's the first step. The second step is you got to be financially stable to look after them both. And the third one is, you got to also treat them equally. Like, so in terms of spending time together, how you give your money, do you know what I mean? But there's brothers like that, for example, have a wife in the UK, but then they've got a wife back home in
I
Somalia.
know,
and
man,
then
like
he'll
that.
Go, like, do you get what I mean? And I'm like,
I know, man, like that.
So you go to Somalia every
Yeah,
week? No, he
yes,
doesn't.
bro.
He
No.
goes every 4 or 5 months.
I know this from working. Do you know where I know this from? It's funny you say that about working in the warehouse. From when I worked in every warehouse, I used to work with Ghanaians, Romanians, Somalis, and mainly, yeah. And brother, believe me, I spoke to a bear of them. They're all saying, because I've always got along with Somalis a lot. For some reason, bro, they're just so, as people, they got natural comedic. Like they know the energy, just like, you know. So like 2 of my friends here, my boy Anis, he's like that as well. And I had these conversations, and they're telling me they've got other families and that, but they don't. Like, I'm like, oh, does your partner know? They're like, no. I'm like, but they must know. How do they not know, bro?
Where these partners at? Like, back home?
Yeah. Back home.
That's crazy.
But I'm like, but surely, you see what it is with me, yeah? This is funny, yeah, because my mum's always said this as well, interestingly enough. My sister used to say to my mum, oh, you know, Kozgi, like, my mum's like, some things are better left unsaid. Yeah. And I think it comes down to that in relationships. I think sometimes, bro, I think a lot of wives, they're not silly. Let's not. I think a lot of husbands, think their wives are a bit silly. They know what's going on most of the time, bro.
Especially when you start acting different.
Exactly.
You know, when you
Come on,
start
man.
acting different,
Women have
that's
the intuition. Women are not silly, man. They have the gut instinct. The intuition is factual. And it's true. They are. Women are not silly, man. They know the smallest detail. They
many of them. Let's just say many of them before they start coming for us.
Oh yeah, exactly. No,
but I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, how are you having someone back home and here at the same time? It's so crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
Like, but also mentally.
Yeah.
Do you know how draining that is mentally?
Brother, I actually do, because I've done that. But
do you get what I mean?
Not family wise.
Yeah. I hear you.
Trust me, with
because you were a galdem guy. You know
exactly.
what I mean? So,
when I had different girls, and
it's
even they knew about each
bro.
other, but they're like to me, oh, come and meet me here tomorrow. Come spend time with me. You never spend time with me, and you go and see her. And then in the past, it was like your girls like, oh yeah, but. And then it's a thing where it's like, oh yeah, but you're actually getting feelings for her though. It's not just like, it's not a platonic thing. I'm like, you can't win. I tell people now, I obviously this is coming from me, and some people might be able to. Listen, open relationships don't work. Listen, and it's different when you're talking about in Islam as well, with that kind of thing. It's way different. I'm talking about doing the whole, yo, I've got multiple girls, they know about each other. Listen, I don't care what anyone says. Your girl might say she's cool with it. She's not cool with it, bro. She's not cool with it.
Yeah. The thing is, there are some, I'm not going to lie to you, that are actually cool with it.
Cool with it.
But
it doesn't last. It doesn't last though.
But the thing is also, these are like women that are, like, and I'm not saying this is how it is, because when a guy is upfront about it and he says, this is what I want moving forward, and she's cool. I'm not saying that's the reason why she's cool with it.
Yeah.
There is some that, you know, for whatever reason, and I can't just pinpoint it, they're actually cool because I know people. I know people that have second wives. And
in that way, see, that's different though. That's
you're talking about.
I'm talking about the open.
Okay, I got you.
All the like Playboy thing. I'm talking about the Playboy thing. No, you're right. I agree with that because it's. Do you know why that's different? That works in a better way. Because there's actually stability in them. In the relationship, there's stability. You know, it's maturity. I'm talking about young guys and girls and guys in their 20s doing the whole my girls like you know, like side girls and blah blah blah, that kind of stuff, because it's also moral. Like, I'll be real, I'm coming towards a faith-based life now. I'm a very spiritual person. I always have been, but I'm understanding that like certain things are quite like, you know, hedonistic in terms of like, you know, the whole I got girls, I'm going out drinking and like sleeping with loads of different girls. I don't rate that anymore. I'll be real, I don't rate it. And I used to, like, you don't get me wrong, I don't judge anyone. I don't judge anyone.
I just don't want to be associated with it.
Exactly. Not me. It's not me anymore, you know.
I got you. We're just gonna wrap this up, with the last bit. And this is when your mom said, and just very briefly, we're just gonna. If you actually just tell me in one word, like your mom said, probation officer. You should be a probation officer, but you ended up being a social media person instead. If we can get that literally in like 30 seconds, because I know we have to wrap
I know.
Yeah,
of course, man.
So go on.
So my mum wanted me to be, obviously wanted me to be a probation officer. Obviously being on probation and community service, she thought it was a good route for me. But I wanted to do the social media stuff instead. I wanted to like talk to the people. I feel like I can reach more people and tell people what I've been through and tell people which way to go and which might be good for you and which way you shouldn't go and which won't be good for you. Because I can talk from just my experiences. Everyone's had a different experience. Everyone's got a different way of living. But for me personally, there's certain aspects of life that I think you should go down and that you shouldn't, you know, and we can all learn from one another. And we lead with the compassion, empathy and love. That is all I want to say. Always lead with the compassion, empathy and love. Remember that, yeah?
That's good, man. I appreciate that, my broski. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for sharing.
I've had an amazing time as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, this is my therapy session today, isn't it?
That's what it is, man.
It's been amazing, though.
Listen,
I've had a really good time, man.
I've really had an amazing time.
Thank you.
Having the discussion. Thank you so much, honestly.
Thank you, brother.
For giving you time,
Appreciate you.
sharing your story. I know it must have not been easy. We're going to stay in touch, of course. Stay in the loop. And also, just the last message that you have for the viewers. And then we'll just wrap it up, man. And
always
that camera right
my
there.
last word I want to say, guys, listen, like I was saying before, always lead with love, compassion, empathy. Listen, don't judge other people just because they have lived their lives differently to you or they live their life differently. Don't judge other people because, listen, we all have our own things that we're going through. Yeah, big or small. Like I was saying to you on the phone yesterday, some things to some people, a death might be a huge thing to some people, and then I don't know, not getting a job might be the same thing to other people. You know, so we can never judge one another. Yeah? Everyone's going through different things. We're all from different places, different life experiences, but we're all still here living. And we've got to give gratitude to that. So whichever God you believe in, whatever religion you believe in, even if you're atheist. Listen, always give gratitude because we're here still living. So we have to be grateful for that, yeah?
Powerful
Thank you
message,
so much.
Man.
Thank you so much, brother.
No, I appreciate you, my bro.
It's amazing.
Listen, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and if you made it to the end, please do like the video and click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can see every time I upload. And guys, yeah, man, if you just want to give your
my socials, so I'm Kozgi on Instagram, Kozgi9 on TikTok, Kozgi9 on YouTube. And yeah, man, that's my main ones. I'm on SoundCloud as well, Spotify, Kozgi. My music's on there that I don't do. I'm sometimes doing it as well. But yeah, so Kozgi on everything, basically. Kosgi. Remember that? Not Dolce. Not Dolce.
Not Dolce. Not Dolce.
There you go. Not Kozgi either. Kozgi.
Yeah. Kozgi. Did I say Kozgi?
No. But a lot of people do. A lot of people do. That's why.
Got you. Guys, it's your boy Rakeem. It's your boy Rakeem here with Unpacked. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.